Welcome into episode number 108 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube. As always, with me, host Stephen Loeffler at Junk Wax Twins.
Oh, hi.
Ben Wilson at Our Trading Cards. And I'm Tim Shepler at Big Shep 79. We're a podcast by collectors for collectors. I'm going to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. We're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central.
On YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live, everywhere. Follow us on Twitter about the cards. We're available as a podcast everywhere. Check out the website aboutthecards.wordpress.com. We have a very special guest today, Chris Harris at Stale Gum. What's up, Chris? How are you doing, bud?
What's up?
Wonderful
I
to have
can't
you
believe
on.
you actually invited me. Must be scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
It was a big get for us. Let me tell you, we're very excited.
It was. I mean, we're honored to have the Stale Gum, on the pod. That's pretty
Stale
cool.
Gum.
The capital,
like the Ohio State, right?
I was going to say, it's
yeah.
not from Ohio.
Doesn't matter. It's T.H.E. The Stale Gum.
I saw recently on Twitter that you got that name from a card shop.
Yeah. When I was about 10 years old, my family moved to Delaware. And the first hobby shop I went to, my dad took me to, I guess this was around 85, 86-ish, was this little hole in the wall in Newark, Delaware on Main Street. It's not there anymore. And it was called the Stale Gum Trading Company. And I walked in and I just fell in love with the place. I mean, if you were around in the hobby back in the day, card shops now and card shops then, that were like two different things. It was completely different. It was like a small little hole in the wall with like two guys and like maybe 10,000 cards in the place. But I loved it. It was great. I never forgot that. And even though I moved away from Delaware a few years later, I always put that name in the back of my head. And I always wanted to use that. And so when I started what became the Stale Gum blog back in the 90s, I had to give it a name, and I gave it that name, Stale Gum.
It's a great one. As you talk about that, I remember one of the first, card shops I went to as a kid, and it would have been 86, 87. And there was a smell of like cardboard and bubble gum from the packs, like that was like that aroma. And when I first got my cards back out of storage and I started going through them, I had them in one room, and I'd open that door, and for a while that smell was there of all those old cards. And I was like, if they could make that into a candle scent, like mid 80s card shop candle scent, like I would just buy cases of those candles, because it instantly I went back to when I was a little kid. And you're right. I mean, this place that I would go into I remember it had like the steel reinforcement on the glass door, and a little bell rang when you walked in, and it was just a little U of glass display cases and packs, and an old crusty guy in there working, and
it's always a crusty old guy, too.
Right? Yeah.
And the irony is now us 10-year-old kids have grown up, and now we are those crusty
we're
old
the crusty old guys.
Yeah. So
guys.
I want to real quick. Has anybody noticed, if you look back at like 87 Tops and you see guys like Jerry Russ and some of those guys and like Charlie Huff, they looked like they were 50 or 60 and they were playing. Why don't our old guys, like current day old guys, they're like in their late 30s, early 40s, why do they not look like that? Right? They look
like Verlander's a male model at 37, right?
Yeah.
Jerry Reese. He's a pitcher. I was like, there's no way he's not a coach or a manager. Come on.
Someone's grandpa. Like, you had guys like, I never understood, like, guys that look like Ken Phelps. Like, how is he, like, he doesn't even look like a softball player. Like, how did he was even in the major leagues?
He looks like a high school math teacher.
Yeah. 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 He might have been friends with Walter White. He taught math. Walt taught, chemistry.
Science.
So
Ken was into distribution.
Yeah. Well, Chris, we already hit a little bit about how you got your name. Give us a little more background on your collecting story. Like, really, like, what was the set that you remember that got you going, or the player, and who did you want to hoard back in the day?
What really got me into collecting was one day my grandmother was going through her attic, and she gave me this shoebox, and it was like my uncle's old baseball cards. And it was like mostly, I think it was like mostly like 72 tops low numbers. And I thought these were like the coolest things in the well 72 tops is a pretty cool looking set. But here were these guys that I'm looking at on TV, and they're playing baseball, and like, here are their pictures, and I can actually collect them. And then there's like, you can get a whole set of these. There's like 700 plus different cards to collect. And I thought that was just kind of cool. I mean, granted, I'm like 4 or 5 years old, so I think anything's cool. But as I got older, I can't really understand, can't really explain what I was attracted to baseball cards for. Whether it was part of my fandom, or whether it was just the need to collect something. I think it's been called the collector's gene that we all have in some ways, that it's just part of our human nature to want to collect something. And for me, it was small little cardboard pictures of baseball players.
Very cool. Did you have a favorite team or player when you were growing up?
I grew up in South Jersey, and I'm a fan of all the Philadelphia teams. So my favorite player growing up was Mike Schmidt.
Oh, the second greatest third baseman of all time. That's awesome.
Second greatest? Really?
And then Matthews is second. So where does Brett? I mean, he barely cracks the top three. Barely.
I'd have to put Brooks Robinson ahead of
Thank you,
of George. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brett's not even the best third baseman with the last name B. You had Scott Brocious, and it's amazing.
It's weird. Ben's having some audio difficulties tonight. No, that's cool. And you also run something I think quite a few collectors have used, is BaseballCardPedia.com.
Yes,
So
I am one of the guys behind that. It's me and another guy named Chris from Ohio. You may know him on Twitter as SRU Chris. About 2006, 2007-ish. Beckett had new owners. This was just after Dr. Beckett sold the company. Mm-hmm. And the new owners redid the website. And they hired a bunch of people that clearly did not collect cards. And they completely ganked up their checklist section. Because that's what I use, and that's what a lot of other people used before then. And around the same time, Beckett had also created a website called Beckettpedia. And it was an open source, almost Wikipedia style reference tool that they just put out there and just allowed collectors go at it, do whatever you want with it. And around that time is around the time of the Beckett website redesign is when they took Beckettpedia offline. So I started thinking, and this was around the time that I found my partner, the other Chris, and we both kind of had the same idea. What if there was like a checklist and a resource for baseball cards that was just based on a familiar Wikipedia format. And we came up with BaseballCardPedia, and it's been kind of a labor of love ever since for the last over 12, 13 years now. And because it's a Wikipedia style site, if you know how to code a Wikipedia page, you can code in our site as well. So if you the thing with our site that's different from other check listing sites, and we really don't have a problem with other check listing sites, is that if you find a mistake or if you want to add your knowledge to our site, you can do so. You don't need to ask permission. All you have to do is sign up for an account, and you can go on and edit. Have at it.
Now, when I was building my database, some people like to call it a master spreadsheet of the Oakland A's. BaseballCardPedia was a huge asset. I can't thank you and the other Chris enough for having that information available, because I open up a blank Excel spreadsheet. I got nothing on it, and I knew I was going to go all the way back to the tobacco era, and I just wanted checklists of all of the team cards that I've got a big portion of them from when I was a kid and now as an adult. But I started building this in 2011, 2012, and it took me the better part of 3 or 4 years. And without a website like BaseballCardPedia to use, along with some of the other checklist sites, it was a 3 to 4 year project to get to where I'm at now. Without that website, I don't know how long it would have taken. It was really a tremendous asset. So, from my collecting to yours, I want to say thank you for having that website available to us.
No, thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. It's great for player, team collectors, cell builders. You go in there and you can find information, and I also like the way it's broken down. You can look at the different subsets and what's available, and kind of hunt and peck. And one thing that makes our site a little different is that we put everything on one page. Mm-hmm. So if you look up in an article for, say, 2017 Topps Heritage, you're going to get everything for Topps Heritage. You're going to get the base set, how many parallels there are, the inserts, and all the game used and all the autographs. Instead of a separate page for each, we just throw it on there on one page. Right. Have at it. We also include pack configurations, insertion ratios, street dates, and just any other gee whiz information that interests me or interests anybody else about that product. Now, I have a question about that. So on some of the stuff that has redemptions, like Bowman, so the Bowman Chrome the Bowman release that had, Luis Roberts autograph, and he was a redemption, and that expired at a certain date. Do you guys have that on? Do you list on there of like prospects or a big autograph that might be expiring out of the set? That that's why people are buying those boxes years later.
The thing is that there are just so many of them. Just so many redemptions that come out. It's hard for just one or two people to keep track of them all.
Yeah.
When we go back and look at an older set that has redemptions in it, we'll go back and flag to see. And if you look at a page that has redemptions in it, you'll notice that we put an EXCH next to the player's name, mm-hmm. or a card that packed out as a redemption. But for current year cards,
a little tougher.
We usually wait a year or two until after everything has been settled, until we go back and determine which cards were redemptions, which cards didn't pack out at all, and stuff like that. Again, this is really just a 1 or a 2 man operation, as opposed to Beckett, which has, a dozen of price guide analysts that do all that for a living.
Yeah. And heck of a job.
We try.
No.
I try, but.
No, I love it. Now, have you guys, there was a question of any more, any updates or improvements that you have in store coming for the future?
One thing that we've been kicking around really for years is whether to include teams. in each entry. We do have the ability to include the back end of of BaseballCardPedia is, and if you actually look at some of the nuts and bolts of our site, it's drawn off of a database, and we do keep track of teams as far as the database goes, but we don't display them on each article's page. And we've been debating for years now whether we should do that or not, whether that's information that's valuable or whether it's just clutter. I've been kind of hesitant to put teams on there because there are some multiplayer cards out there where you have maybe 4 or 5 different players from like 3, 4, or 5 different teams.
60s team leaders.
That?
Yeah.
You get an entry for one card that takes up maybe the whole width of your screen, and that kind of looks ungangly.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we do have a search tool, and we've just improved the search on that, where if you search by player, it'll pop up with you'll be able to see the team there as well.
Okay, nice.
And another thing that we are discussing is a search by team as well as a search by player.
Interesting.
Very cool.
So, I mean, for the most part, you would think that people would know if you're looking at, say, 96 Leaf, that Sammy Sosa's a Cub.
Yeah. That's
so
pretty much.
I don't see that it's not necessarily necessary for every entry, but it would be nice to see.
Well, then you have like 97 McGuire because he was traded at the deadline.
Sure.
You know, most of his 97 cards are Oakland, but some of the tail end, you know, you had some that were St. Louis.
You had some that were with the Cardinals.
You know, but as a player collector, do you care? As a team collector, of course you do. As a set collector, you wouldn't because you're just getting everything anyway. But you know, there's advantages to both. You know, the multiplayer cards are kind of a pain in the rear because I at one point thought I had the entire flagship run from 51, if you want to count that year as well, to current, and then I realized I was missing some league leaders and rookie cards, and I ended up 62 cards in the hole. Because of these, one of the early 60s ones, I forget who the A's was, but it was a Mickey Mantle league leader card. And it's like, great. Now I got to pay Mickey Mantle prices to get a league leader card of some, random Kansas City A. But a lot of it just depends on each collector's going to go to a website like yours for different resources. We used it for some of the information you included about the companies and the sets when we were doing a segment a couple of years, towards the start of our show, telling the history of Fleer and the history of Upper Deck. And you guys had information that we were able to pull and use for that research. And again, phenomenal resource for anybody that wants that information like we did.
Which is actually what I was going to show here was that, if you're just starting out and you want to create a database of your favorite player, favorite team, here's every score release, major anyway. Here's every bazooka release. Here's every select release. Even
by the way, I love when you click player search, the example that they give. Bip Roberts.
It's an Easter egg. Don't spoil it.
Oh.
But if you know who,
100 of those over here.
Yeah.
Sorting out some of my junk wax dupes for trade packages, and I got one in here for you too as well, Stale Gum. But naturally, if you have them available, you're going to have some Marion Butts, a stack of
more butts from you guys.
Well,
Wonderful.
we forgot.
And a bip. All right.
We forgot to celebrate Dick Scheiner's birthday over the weekends. Former Atlanta Falcons quarterback great Dick Scheiner.
When's Fair Hooker's birthday?
Yeah. I swear I'm going to get Pete Lecoq on the show because I know I'm one person away from knowing Pete. Like,
Butts.
So I got to get Pete Lecoq on the show for us just once. Real quick, what's your take on the hobby right now? We were talking before the show about just things are nuts. Like, I feel like people don't think the world's going to last much longer and money means nothing now. That's what I've come down to. The fact is that money has no monetary value anymore. It's just a number and just something you give to get something else. And at the end of the day, who cares? Because to be honest, after some of the things I've experienced in the last 4 weeks of my life, if the sky were to be pink tomorrow and the sun were to turn blue and I was to grow horns out of my head, I would go 2020.
It's, you know, we've Pete Lecoq.
And why do you have? Why are you some kind of like major wizard? And it's like
the time machine, the DeLorean.
Yeah, it's the time machine. This guy has
sports card DeLorean.
I mean, I could list some rando A's guy from back in the day and tell a story about him, and Steph would have like a rainbow of him sitting next to us.
Just happens.
Poll.
Urban Shocker, Lil Stoner, Oil Can Boyd.
See, Steph is
Bip Roberts.
Yeah, Steph's taking us off track tonight again. You know, Roosted Coons, yeah, my guy.
Of course.
Yep.
No, but Chris, what do you think? Like, where are we in the hobby as of right now?
I mean, I'm old enough to remember the junk wax era, and I kind of think that we're reliving that history. You know, there's this theory that everything in history repeats every 20 or 30 years.
Sure.
And we're kind of in that cycle now, especially over the ever since COVID struck.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of new money get into the hobby. And it reminds me a lot of the kind of people that got into things like daily fantasy sports about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, or got into Bitcoin, or got into poker, or quite frankly got into baseball cards 30 years ago. You had a lot of people that were lured by the allure of easy money, right? Who doesn't want to make easy money? Hey, I see this guy on TV who wins the World Series of Poker. He won $2 million. I'm smart enough to do that. And so that fueled the poker boom. Same thing that we're seeing now in the hobby. A LeBron card just sold for $1.8 million. Hey, if I buy a bunch of cards, one of them's bound to be worth $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're seeing that kind of mentality back of people that are getting into the hobby, that have a lot of money, that really aren't interested in collecting the cards. I hate to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The gambling aspect, the quick flip, the chase down. I think too, like, it tends itself, like, to be honest, I got gas today and I went inside because the machine outside was down for the ATM. So I went inside and had to pay, and the scratcher thing here in California was completely empty. And I go, what happened? And she goes, oh, we sold out. She's like, we consistently are selling out like every 10 days of scratchers.
Incredible.
She goes, we have people come in and they'll just buy the whole book of scratchers. And I'm like, and it's people that can't get to the casino,
right,
that have that Jones, and so that's what they're doing.
It's probably
people are just bored.
Yeah, it's probably also people that can't afford it per se, right? People that probably shouldn't be spending that money are buying the scratchers. That get rich quick scheme. I won $10. Yeah,
scratchers.
Yeah, you've spent $200 to win a $2 scratcher. Cool, good for you.
Mark.
Yeah, it's so easy when you're getting your beef jerky and you're icy. Oh, hey, let me drop a $5 bill here.
The only time I'll pick a scratcher up is like if I'm buying something, I have like, it's like comes out to like $3 and I have a $5 bill. I'll say, give me that $2 scratch. Let me try. And if I win, then I just use that money. Once it's gone, it's gone. And sometimes I had that once last like a month, so it was like, that's fun, but that's really the only time. Or like you throw it in like a birthday card, right? Like, hey, have fun with this.
That's what I was going to say. Birthday card for someone who's older or something.
Yeah. But
you just reminded me of a Norm Macdonald stand-up routine about lottery tickets. I'll tell you off the air, but
I love Ben. Where do you think the hobby is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I have no idea. I mean, if you were to ask me this question 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I'd have been wrong. So what is the hobby going to be in 5 years? Well, it depends, because let's just take baseball for example. We nearly did not have a season this year.
We may still not.
The Blue Jays, who knows where they're going to be playing?
This game starts tomorrow.
Yeah, and you don't have a state at good planning. Next year, December 1st, 2021, that's when the collective bargaining agreement between the owners and players expires. And it's been a while since we've had a work stoppage, and I think we may have another year without a World Series. I really, really think that the issues between the players and the union are so the chasm about things like international signing bonus, service time manipulation, possible free agent collusion, you name it. I think we're going to have another season like 1994 where we're not going to have an end to it. We're going to have a strike. And that pretty much, although the junk wax era, I think, was over by 94, that pretty much put the last nail in the coffin for that boom. I wouldn't want to be Topps coming into 2022 with an exclusive baseball license and pretty much
it runs through what,
nothing else. Huh?
Yeah.
So, because their license runs through what, 2025, I think.
2025.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think like Ben said in the chat, I don't think we know what's going to happen. Or no, I said Kevin Jones.
5
I don't know.
months from now. Yeah.
5 months from now, and Ben's like 5 minutes from now. I mean, just see Bull today, right?
We moved on. Next person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the only person that can predict where we're going to be is Stefan and his DeLorean. He obviously has, but yeah, we talk about this in economics all the time. If you could predict where the economy is going to be in 6 months, you're going to go accept your Nobel Peace Prize, and you're going to be a very, very wealthy individual. It's not possible now within a hobby where it's more isolated and finite. We usually could, to a degree of certainty, predict. But the last 3 years of this hobby has been so wild, and it's just getting worse and worse, or better and better, depending on your glass half full, glass half empty perspective. Sure. Who knows where we're going to be? And I love I don't know where we're going to be answered, because I don't think any of us know. We just kind of have to ride this wave as a group, and we collectively will still be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Who's with us is still yet to be seen.
And I don't think a lot of the new money that's gotten into the hobby is going to be with us in 5 years. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's going to be fun for all of us to go and clean up their leftovers and
And I mean,
but at least, I mean, if history repeats itself, the mid '90s was a great time to be a baseball card collector. So sure. if that's what's at the end of this, if we're getting products in 2024, 2025 that were like 1993, 1994, 1995, I'll be happy. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping happens.
You made a comment once that you thought Project 2020 would eventually end up as dollar box fodder.
Well, look at the print runs on some of these cards. I mean, if you were to take, and I'm not talking about the ones that sold off, that had 5-digit print runs, like the Griffey that sold almost 100,000 or the Trout that sold 35,000. A lot of these cards are selling in what, the 3, 4, 5,000 range.
Somewhere in there.
If you were to pull an insert of one of these players, like Sandy Koufax, that was serial numbered to, let's say, 3,000, is that a $20 card? No.
Sure.
Is that a $10 card?
Yeah.
No. Is that a $5 card? No. That's maybe a $1 or $2 card. Now, I understand the argument that some people are making that these aren't really baseball cards. They're artwork. And this is going to bring some more added value to these cards because they're considered art more than cards. But how much value? Are you going to take a $2, $3 card and make that a $5 or a $10 card? I don't know, but these cards are not should not be selling anywhere near $20 or more than that. And I would venture to guess that as time goes on, you will see a lot of these cards selling for a couple of bucks.
That you're already seeing it. I mean, I typed in, I look for Mark McGwire listings every day on eBay, usually multiple times, and I came across a pick your card listing today that had 20 cards available, and the Griffey Shore was $7.99 free shipping, which makes about $8.60 after tax, but he had like 20 of them, and they were all selling for less than a $20 bill. And it boggles my mind. They were all in the same like card, like 60 through 80, if I'm not mistaken, too. It was that high print run group that they were all pulled from. This guy's looking just to cash out. Fire sale. Give me what you can. Yeah, and to me, it's just what's going to happen is these are artwork. Great, you're pulling in a different consumer. But 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when these people have long since forgotten about this. The cards that are still going to be around are going to go to the hobby, right? It's going to go to the card collectors. And I just, personally, I don't see a whole lot of, resale value in the long term, years down the road. I just, these are going to be long forgotten, I believe. That's just my opinion.
They'll be novelties.
Yeah.
They might hold some value for that. The fact that some of these artists do have followings and will continue to do so. But from a card collector perspective, save your money and buy them 3, 4, 5 years from now if you like them.
Yeah.
Well, Topps is going to bastardize this project this program. You're going to have Topps 2021 for Project.
Well, actually, I do recall reading somewhere, I think it was in Beckett, where they said that they're not going to be coming out with a 2021 in baseball, but that they might be coming out with something similar for some of their other licenses, like Star Wars, which would be,
interesting.
Print the money there.
Yeah.
Right.
And Garbage Pail Kids and some other,
that helps
WWE.
That helps them if a strike happens too, or work stoppage happens in baseball. I think you're right on that point. I think we're not going to get a full season. Maybe we get 144 games, or like we did in 95. And these two sides are too dumb to realize that they're getting their butts kicked by the NFL and by the NBA as far as viewership and fandom and attendance and all the other everything that makes the money that goes into it. They just don't get it. And the fact that, Mookie Betts got $365 million from the Dodgers when the Red Sox sold for 380 so many years ago.
So let me ask you a follow-up, Chris, real quick on Project 2020.
Sure.
Let's assume you skip every other year, kind of do it Olympic style, right? Every second year, you're going to have a new project, whatever the year is. How many truly iconic cards would you say that there are? They've got to be transcendent cards. Again, Mickey Mantle does not have, Mickey Mantle probably has 10 of them by himself, but you don't have the license. So assuming moving forward over the next decade, you can't put a Mantle in there. But how many truly iconic cards? Because there's some here that are subjective to, at the very least. Is an 85
the
Goodwin
Dwight
really
Gooden
iconic? Yeah.
Isn't really all that iconic.
84
so Mattingly isn't all that iconic.
Frank Thomas, it's the no name, not the So,
I can.
If you did 20 cards per release, at what point, year 5, year 6, do you really start to get watered down? In your opinion, how many iconic cards? Because for me, I would say 50 or 60 about max before you start to get thin.
Well, and that's what I was going to add to that was how many iconic cards can you think of that they didn't include?
They didn't include a Hank Aaron. I know that.
Right.
Is there a Reggie Jackson in this set?
No. So you could do the 69 Jackson. You could do the 71 Munson. Hank Aaron and an Ernie Banks.
Killer.
But
and they did, and the Mariano Rivera card is a Bowman card, so I guess you can also use some of the Bowman cards in that. So,
see, but without Mantle, because you 52, 53, 56, probably 57, 59, 60, 65, 66, 69, maybe. I mean, a lot of it's subjective.
All these were rookie cards, though.
But yeah, if you're only limiting it to rookie cards, then you're even further diluting what an iconic card is. I'm sorry, I have a difficulty getting past 50 or 60 iconic cards where if you ask the average collector, think about what a 1987 and a 1955, fill in the blank of the year and the player. How many of us can visualize that? Hardcore collectors probably can get pretty deep. But the average collector, and it's got to be iconic, like the 89 Upper Deck was.
And non-collectors, too, art collectors, who may not know much about baseball, but they know who Jackie Robinson and Mickey Mantle are.
Yeah,
right.
That's really the audience for this set, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of markets, we're not real big MLS or soccer fans in there. Is there what can you tell us about the soccer market right now? Like,
it's developing. You have to remember is that up until 2014, there really weren't that many Western style trading card sets in soccer. Most soccer collectibles were either sticker books or trading card games. But the one set that really changed soccer, I think, was the Panini World Cup Prism set that came out in 2014, because that was really the first set that had inserts, parallels, and autographs. And since then, soccer's kind of it's kind of like what soccer is here in this country. It's a niche sport. It's not really for the masses, but those who are into soccer are into the cards.
All right. Because I always know it's when always the World Cup pops up, you hear the stories about in Brazil, like the delivery truck gets, hijacked and all of this, the craziness ensues when the stickers drop for the World Cup. And the guy that was it Mbappe? Am I saying that right?
Kylian Mbappe, yes.
And then the Pulisic kid,
Christian Pulisic, who had a great game today for Chelsea, coming off the bench.
Yeah, those two are really kind of what are driving some of these fringe soccer people into collecting. Would that be correct?
Yeah, and there's another guy who plays for Borussia Dortmund named I hope I'm getting this guy's name correctly. His name is Erling Haaland, but he's a Norwegian, and he's like 19 years old, and he's really one of the better young strikers out there, and he plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany.
Oh, nice. All right.
So,
Insight we're getting.
any of these guys actually have staying power, or are they the next Freddie Adu?
Freddie Adu. Well, I mean, that's the thing with soccer is that a lot of young soccer players, when they turn 15 or 16 in this country, they're usually playing club soccer, or when they turn 18 or 19, they're playing college soccer. But in Europe, they're playing professionally. So
Sure.
a lot of your rookie cards in soccer are all these young 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. Most of them aren't going to really pan out. So it's like if they made a Bowman for soccer, maybe kind of like what Bowman in baseball is now, where you only have you can count on one hand the number of prospects that'll actually be whose cards are going to be worth anything. That's kind of like the same thing in soccer. You have 300, 400, 500 young players, but only about 5 or 6 of them are going to turn into true international superstars.
Sure.
Well, all I know is that I'm a huge Sac Republic guy.
Going to have to wait another year.
That's okay. The thing is, they finally got accepted was a good thing, and what they're going to help, what it's going to do to the city of Sacramento is going to be, I think, really good. So I'm just excited for that. We always ask everybody we have on the show, if you could only own one card that you currently own, what would it be and why?
It would be a 1996 score of Bip Roberts.
Why is
saying that with a straight face?
Is that the one where he's sliding back into the base?
Nope. It's the one where he's got the sombrero.
96. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Must have cut out.
Damn it,
Come
Steph.
on. You guys.
Yeah, Steph should have had it on a T-shirt by now. Come on.
Now, I remember once seeing a video of you at a card show buying a Bryce Harper, and I can't remember if it was 661 or if it was the elusive, never pulled, ever seen Archives rookie card.
Well, I don't have the Archives card.
Okay. So it might have been
the 661.
Yeah.
I got that at the National maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So.
No, I just remember. I remember that was when I. There we go. There's the card.
It is. The greatest baseball card ever.
Yeah, that's better than Oscar Gamble.
That's our generation's Oscar Gamble.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, I just remember that video and just I always like your takes on the bloat of Flagship and what the overdoneness of some of the things that they do, and I fully agree. Opening packs and you go through and there's maybe 1 or 2 good insert sets that are worth a damn, and everything else just seems like ugh.
Yeah,
well, surely you need 10 100 card insert sets to change.
Why? What is the purpose of that?
Yeah.
I mean, when inserts first came out, in the 90s, here we go again, back to the 90s again, because everything was better when we were younger. Inserts actually meant something, You had the All-Stars or the rookie sensations or the league leaders. And now it's just, let's just take a random set from the 80s,
Or
make
Olympic
100
cards.
of them, and just throw them into the product for willy-nilly. No reason.
I'm going full Steph right now.
There we go. 92 Ultra.
Yeah. Some of the best insert sets. That's the All-Star, and then you have the all-rookie team, and then the Tony Gwynn set, but then you have the award winners.
Yeah, and the inserts meant something.
Yeah.
They were relevant. They had a purpose.
I still remember chasing down 93 Upper Deck, the Walter Ios cards. Oh, yeah, those cards to me as a kid, I mean, they were full blue, crazy photos of all these stars.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the cow's meow or the cat's meow, whatever.
Cat's meow.
There we go.
Christy Brinkley's collection.
Yeah. But Chris, do you want to hang out the rest of the show? I know it's real late where you are. It's almost tomorrow. But
it's almost midnight, but yeah, sure.
Right. Well, let's get into it. We got a fun show the rest of the way here. The week that was last week's releases. Topps Living Week 123, card 329, Josh Donaldson, third baseman of the Minnesota Twins, and then card 330, Isan Diaz, rookie shortstop of the Miami Marlins. No print run numbers on these guys as of the start of the show, so check out Topps Living Stat for a full breakdown where these cards fall respectively by set, by team, by position later on. Also last week, 1920, Panini Obsidian Basketball, 2020, Panini Luminance Football, 1920 Upper Deck Stature Hockey, which, by the way, we saw a picture of this girl pulled one of those rare inserts we talked about that was one in every 60 boxes, but hers was numbered to 5. And it was a gorgeous, I can't remember the player off the top of my head, but it was a gorgeous looking card. So neat to see a new set get some love week 1. We get into a hot off the presses this week's new releases. Topps Living Week 124. Card 331. Kenny Lofton, outfielder, legend of the Cleveland Indians. And then card 332. Mauricio Dubon, rookie shortstop of the San Francisco Giants, out this week. So picked up Dubon.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel there. Kenny Lofton.
Well, he's better than having a second. What was not Shed Long, but who was the
J.P. Crawford?
J.P. Crawford. You know, you got a J.P. Crawford that came out with the Phillies and then one with the Mariners. So, you know, I'll take Kenny Lofton over a second J.P. Crawford or a second Alvasale Garcia. Or
a third man.
I noticed they're no longer using the grinning Indian logo on those too.
Yeah,
sure. And I'm curious. I made a note of it earlier. I was wondering if that was the first one that they've not. But someone pointed out that Tomei's also had just Cleveland with.
But he's wearing the Chief Wahoo hat in the photo, so
of course,
Well, that's what he wore.
Yeah, I mean,
right history.
Yeah, but everybody tries to. Everybody's trying to.
I think Lofton
is
was a
this
fun
other
addition.
guy? Mauricio Dubon. Okay.
The Giants got him from the Red Sox late last year in an off-season trade or end of the year trade. Oh, Brewers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was in the Will Smith deal.
He plays multiple positions. He's actually, I watched him the last 2 nights against the A's in the exhibition games. He's probably going to be an exciting guy. The Giants don't have a lot of talent on that team, so he'll definitely be fun to watch for a couple months, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Gabe
Kapler will stick him out there as a 4th outfielder.
I was so mad. No, I'm so mad that they hired him. He's a goofball.
You can have him.
Oh my God!
We already had him in Philly, so
yeah. I'll give him 2. He's in there just to take all the losses until they get all the young guys up, and then they'll get somebody in there worth a damn. I think that's kind of what they're doing. They don't want to have their next real manager up there. Let somebody take the lumps. 2020 Topps Sterling Baseball came out today. $900 a box. 2 packs per box. 1 card per pack. $450 a card. You're going to get 2 autographed relics or relic cards. The last time Topps released Topps Sterling was in 2010. The line was known for taking on themes. This year's high-end release focuses on autographed material, memorabilia cards, and premium relics. There are themes, so each pack has a theme on the front. They're going to range from MVP award winners, Topps Rookie Cup recipients, World Series champions, Yankees greats, and more. Each hit and each mini box or pack really goes with a theme that's on the packaging out front. All the autographs are on card. And there are 2, what Topps is calling unique relics that fall per case. They're going to have, those include bat knobs, autographed bat knobs, bat nameplates, bat plates, nameplates with autographs, jersey letter patches, legendary relics, and cut signatures. I saw a case of this open today, and the 2 unique relics were an Edgar Martinez bat nameplate and a Michael Conforto jersey letter. So
that Sandberg,
those unique relics are all ones of one too, right?
Yes, they are.
I think every card is under 25, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
That Ryan Sandberg that you showed that preview is a hideous card at $450, maybe at $50. If that's what the average card costs, $100 a box. But I mean, that Sandberg doesn't scream, "Oh, I've got to go out and buy it for $450." Not that it would cost that on the secondary.
How about this Chris Sale then?
Yeah, I mean that's just a basic. I mean that
It looks like triple
museum,
threads.
Yeah, or museum collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, that's exactly what
I,
museum looked
that's
like.
what I thought. It looked a lot like a museum collection card.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's bad, because I think museum collection is one of the better design hit-based products that Topps makes. I think
At $200 a box, though, right? Not at 1,000.
900 for 2 hits.
Yeah.
If you were getting 10 cards out of there, at $900, I could see that. But
I had double
cards?
checked the price. I went to 4 different sources to check the price because I thought it was like I thought I'd smoked some crack and didn't know it, and I was like, "Is it supposed to be 90? Why is that? Why am I seeing the extra 0? Like I couldn't believe it." And the case I watched was Phil Hughes. I think he said he spent $7,000 on his case. Now to him, $7,000 probably like $70 to the rest of us, but still, like
you still have to look at the rate of return per card, right? So
or if you just hate money,
it has to be $450. And look at that card. Look at the next card. Look at the last one. If you're watching this on YouTube or go through and look at the hits. Just type in 2020 Top Sterling over the next few days and say every card has to be worth $450 to somebody that has to resell it. And I'm sorry, but these just look like museum collection. They look like $15 to $75 cards, depending on the subject and whether or not there's relics and autos and whatnot. But it's like you're banking on hitting one of those 101s. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and those bat knobs and the bat nameplates are awesome, but those are other products as well. To me, it's insane. 2020 Panini Donruss Optic baseball dropped as well, $140 a box, 20 packs per box, 4 cards per pack, 2 autos, 20 inserts, and 10 prism parallels. It's a 200 card base set. Basically, they took 2020 Donruss, dipped it in the Panini Chromium stock.
It's Donruss Chrome. Let's just call it what it is.
Exactly.
Rated rookie signatures. They feature more than 60 different signers, all with on-card autographs. And then they have the rated rookie or rated prospect signatures, and that's a little more than a dozen minor leaguers have autographs in that set. They also have the rookies insert set that's 10 key first-year players, which was always a fun set to back in the day when we were kids to chase down. And then every hobby case of 2020 Optic will include 4 hot boxes. 2 will have 5 autographs instead of 2, and the other 2 hot boxes will be prism hot boxes that come with parallels numbered out of 20. So give you a little chase.
Can I say one thing about this? I love Panini Prism. I loved Panini Select, the color. I wasn't a big fan of the design in hand, but it's solid. I love Donruss. I built like 10 team sets, which part of it was there was nothing else going on in March and April with the release calendar. We've talked about this last year. This should be in the same box as Donruss, like kind of how they do Bowman, where you get some Bowman paper and Bowman chrome. You should get Donruss base with 2 or 3 Optic.
Those are pretty.
But I love the Diamond Kings, and I started listing all the Marcus Semien parallels. And you had all of the Donruss, you had all of the first off the line and the choice and the retail, and it's just like going just from like the number 25 up There was 23 different colors. It's like, Panini, just stop it. You don't need that much in yet another release.
It adds value.
But you have to when you're printing so many base cards. Like that's the thing. They to print more base cards, they add just another color like Carolina blue. Like next we're gonna have Hoosier red. Well,
they had like Dragon Red and Dragon Green, and it's like, what the hell kind of Final Fantasy bullcrap is this, man?
First of all, we don't insult Final Fantasy. Second of all, they're just dragging it across your face and saying, "Hey, buy this."
It's all now. Granted, some of like there's like the Black Stars parallel at 125, which is a sharp looking card. Don't get me wrong. Some of these colors are just ridiculous. They're beautiful in hand. It's only July, and you've already had Donruss, you've had Select, you've had Prism, and now you have Optic. For those of us that like to chase some of the color, there's just so much of it. You don't need all of this, and that's just one player. When your team sets 10, you're looking at hundreds.
This is the thing that I've never really understood about player collectors. Why do you need all the parallels? They're literally all the same card.
Because they make it, Chris. They want Ben to collect.
I understand. I understand if you like how some of the parallels look, like what's that white sparkle parallel?
White sparkle packs available tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, 12 Pacific.
No, okay, so finish your thought, Chris, because I think my wife made this very similar point to me a few years ago about parallels. So,
okay, so why do you need to collect all 80 of them between Donruss and Optic? They're all the same card.
It is, and it's not, because it's the same photo, but it's not the same card, because this one is a green and that one is a teal and that one is the Carolina blue, and it's a different card, even though
you're just collecting colors now.
But they're pretty, and I got a stack of Prism like
okay. All right, I'll concede that point. If you think that they're nice, fine. They all can't be that nice.
No, not all the colors are. I mean, some of the colors just aren't, and it's hard to decipher some of like the red-orange Prism parallel versus the Cosmic Haze parallel. I've got them both in hand.
See, that doesn't mean. Listen,
yellow donuts.
To stop this, they need to have. Okay, if you're gonna have parallels, purple, green, go to the primary colors and the secondary colors, and then maybe one step above that, like have 10 colors. Don't get to where it's like midnight sky blue on a desert Texas Sunday morning.
Like the donut circle prisms and stuff like that. You've got the
Tracy Hackler's back hair parallel color.
That's what I call added value.
Yeah. But see, to your point, Chris, and this is the point I had to make with my wife years ago when she's like, it's the same card. I'm like, but it's not, because this one is this color and that one is that color. They wouldn't make them if they didn't have suckers like me that they just reel us in, because as a completionist, I need them all. They would. And that's a false sense of the word need, right? I don't need them.
The very easiest way to get out of that argument is to take her to Home Depot or Lowe's and go down the paint aisle and say, explain to me the difference between this color and that color. Because I'm not painting it until you can.
Yeah, but I need them all because they make them all, and I can't. This is just me personally. I can't
print more cards. Come on.
And they do. And we're not even certain that they all get packed out, right? Because, I can come up with 10 different Panini products from last year and this year that I've only been able to find one or two of one particular parallel that allegedly is not a short print, right? It's a mass-produced parallel, but I can only find one of them at all ever of a certain player. It's like, are you telling me that they're on the back of a truck somewhere? Are they in somebody's LCS? Did they ever make it and come out? Because if I can only find one or two of the Marcus Semien Diamond King Baby Shark parallel from Donruss, what the hell? Yeah. Baby Shark parallel was not a short printed parallel.
Moving on, we have 2020 Upper Deck Goodwin champions dropping today as well. $100 a box. Hey, that's a reasonable price. 20 packs per box. 5 cards per pack, 3 autographs, mem, relic, and/or manufactured patch cards. 7 mini cards, 5 Gaudy, 5 Splash of Color, 150 card base set. This year's checklist spans a variety of sports, history, literature, entertainment, pop culture, science, and even cats. Steph's excited.
That one.
Look for autographs of Jason Dominguez and Wander Franco. U.S. Open winner Bianca Andreescu. Rose Lavelle of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. Actor Danny Trejo, Blink-182's Travis Barker, and also Big Boy. Exquisite Collection signature kicks are in there, and those are one in like 8,700 packs. They combine pieces of sneaker with on-card autographs. Swatches in these are all considered to be premium pieces by Upper Deck that match the brand of the Stars.
Highlight of this.
Yes.
I think it was 21 of 23. It was amazing. I'll pull up the picture here in a second. But these are the ones that Angela's going to want to chase down.
It's a cool card.
Have fun with that. Michael Jordan gets his own memorabilia set with the Jordan's Curtain Call relics. Each of these have a piece of Chicago Stadium and a highlight from his final game. They're all numbered to 23. The final card in the set is also autographed. They have manufactured patch sets that are chasing, and Steph pointing one of them out, the cat cards, which highlight different types of felines. They are not available in equal quantities. There's 5 tiers, and they range from level 1, which is 1 in every 100 packs, to level 5, which is 1 in every 7,500 packs. And there's also a sea creature one that ranges from 1 in every 180 packs to 1 in every 10,000 packs.
And that's
Good luck
assuming
there.
that they're not packed out to E-Pack, too.
Yeah.
21 of 23 and a Ben Simmons auto. Not bad for a box.
No, not bad for your $100. By the way, I like what they did to the Jordan jersey.
What is that?
Is that a jersey or?
It's a picture of Jordan, but it's like photoshopped with a basketball hoop on it.
Scottie Pippen's.
No, that was.
That's a
Ultra
charity
Classic?
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the last game at the old Chicago Stadium. Was like a charity event.
Okay.
I guess that's what that was from. So
check out Ryan Cracknell's articles on Beckett.com/news for more details on all these releases. What's brewing next week's release is 2020 Topps Museum Collection, 2020 Panini Donruss Elite Football, 1920 Panini's Chronicles Basketball. So our favorite release, Chronicles. Infield Chatter, our Hobby Talk section, the Hobby Hotline is this Saturday live on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And check out Monday Night Heat, Mondays on the same channels at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we had a hot show this Monday. We talked about the card doctor and that bullshit that he does, rubbing apple juice on the cards or whatever he was doing. He licks it with his cat's tongue. And then some other Yahoo called in and said that I'm really pissed because I was supposed to be on, but work had me doing some other stuff, so I couldn't. And then some other Yahoo agreed and said, all he's doing is not bad now, blah, blah, blah. And I'd like to choke both those dumb bastards right now. Just want to let you guys know how I feel. If I ever run into the card doctor or whatever the other guy's name was, like, Gio from Jersey or whoever that was, welcome. I'm Big Shep. Let's say hello.
And we talked about this before the show. Steph and I were on the phone talking about something else, and we're both like simultaneously saying, we got to go listen to this. And we both hopped in the chat room and started lighting those guys up because they were both knuckleheads. I mean, what they're doing, or at least what that guy, the card doctor, does is fraud. I mean, you can't alter a card and submit it as authentic and it not be an issue. No wonder PSA and BGS do not allow him to grade cards anymore. He's now been suspended permanently.
Or cards that he has touched.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some fun stuff. So Topps Now yesterday, there was a card that came out of Alyssa Naked, and she made her first appearance on a card, Topps 2020 Topps Now. She made some history. She's the first female baseball coach to be on the field. She took over at third base, or first base coach, I think, in the 7th inning of a scrimmage between the A's and the exhibition between the A's and the Giants. She went to Sac State here in Sacramento. She was an All-American softball player. She does outfielding and base running, coaching on the Giants. I think the one cool thing Gabe Kapler did, she's been in the organization for a number of years, doing multiple jobs, and they put her on the field, and players are responding. It's cool to see her get some recognition and a shout out. I also love it because it's got the mask on it, so it basically just says 2020 to me. It sold over 4,700 cards, so it did better than some Topps Now cards that sell for a week, or Topps Living cards that sell for a week. So congratulations to Alyssa, and hopefully your career can take off. And
that's a cool touch.
Yeah,
it's cool to see her and Becky Hammond of the Spurs. That these women are finally getting recognition. And I mean, as a Spurs fan, I really hope that when Popovich retires, Becky Hammond takes over the reins there. I mean, I'm in love with her as a coach. She's phenomenal, and I'm glad to see some females start to get opportunities in male-dominated sports.
Yeah. More Sapphires coming. So at you, Soldier Boy, Yu Chang tweeted out a picture of him signing 2020 Topps Chrome Sapphire cards. So we know that more Sapphire is on the way. Can't get enough Sapphire dipped cards.
Speaking of athletes leaking products.
Oh, you're going to have to show your guy signing some homemade cards.
Archive signature. What is
this production
Archive
value?
Snapshots.
Why are we looking at a photo of a photo on Steph's phone?
Because I don't want to pull it up.
Yeah, because it didn't make the cut for the show, but yet Steph gets it in because it's his guy. Jalen Green, if you don't know who he is, Upper Deck has signed in basketball prospect Jalen Green to a deal for trading cards and memorabilia, and he signed some basketballs. He's a California high school star. He's the number one prospect in the 2020 NBA or ESPN Top 100. He actually is going to skip college, and he's jumping to the G League on a special elite team. He's going to get paid about $500,000, and he's going to be 1 year in the G League. And I know a handful of other top high school prospects have hopped on board with him as well. He's the potential number one overall pick for the 2021 NBA draft. In April, he announced that he was going to go down this way. And so it's just very interesting that they signed him away from even before Panini thought about doing so. So you add him to the list of MJ, LeBron, Ben Simmons, and now Jalen Green. I wonder what that's going to do to Panini and their Prism releases. I mean, their basketball releases do pretty well anyway without autographs, but to lose the top prospect even before the draft is near is pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, he already has a better signature than some of the other players.
Oh,
he just dumped himself. Hey, the show just got better.
Well, anyway, I actually read this week that the G League players are going to organize and start a union.
Oh, really?
And if that's the case, we maybe see G League trading cards.
Which would be an interesting addition to the hobby if you get more guys like Green that are going, circumventing the one and done and going to a developmental league. If you start getting
it's
G
only
League
for a year or two,
I think it's
pre-rookie cards.
Smart. I think it's smart for the NBA to allow this to happen, even though the fact that they're going to be on one team together, that G League team is going to be pretty nice because I think like 3 or 4 other guys like this have joined. I think they also should, some of those guys that go undrafted in college, they should. There's a lot of rules and stuff that as a fan that I think that they should implement to help that league along, and also these players that think they're good or get bad advice and leave school to come out early. I think they end up getting lost in the weeds and end up off in the neverworld. So. Just interesting that Panini lost out on a top basketball prospect. 2020 Topps Finest Flashback. We talked about this last week on the show. Available to Montgomery Club members. They were able to buy 3 boxes last Tuesday. I was actually lucky enough to win the raffle and be able to buy 2 at $55. The boxes currently are selling in the neighborhood of $350 to $400 a box. And these are sold deals. I sold my 2 boxes. I feel pretty good about it. I wanted to open them, but after it got over $200 a box, it made no sense to open it.
Yeah.
At that price point, they're gorgeous cards. Don't get me wrong, but holy moly, could you imagine? Like, again, from day to day in this hobby, we don't know what the hell's going on. When Blowout was offering a bounty of 150 the day after they were shipped out, people thought, "Oh wow, that's a lot," and then within 3 days, it was over 300.
Yeah, you're getting a 3x against your initial price point right off the bat. But the Louis Bobby is obviously the highly sought after card, and he was selling it extremely healthy on the secondary market. But you're only getting basically half of the base set in a box. What are the odds of you pulling that card and being able to sell it? If you don't get one of those, it's going to be really hard to get your money back if that's why you're opening it. If you're opening it just to keep and collect, fantastic. But then you're missing that card from your set. You're going to have to get one at an elevated price.
Yeah, there's no autos. There's only one refractor. I mean, it is hardcore 1993 Topps Finest, just updated with these year's players, with that big box topper. At $55, I thought was a steal. Like, if that box had retailed out at like 125, people still would have bought, I think, scooped it up no matter what, because that still would have been a great price. $55 was an incredible good deal. I'm just surprised they got to 400 so fast.
The box topper is the same as the original.
Yes, that's the Stadium Club, but yeah, they're the All Stars.
A 94, but
yeah, but that's also says Stadium Club, not Finest,
I
right?
know. I know.
Okay.
Size wise, they're the same.
Yeah, and so it's the All Star green cards. So Topps Attack is back. Ryan Cracknell put out on Twitter, looks like Topps Attack Baseball is coming back soon as an online exclusive. I wasn't collecting when Topps Attack was around the first time, but I know I've been given some collections and picked up some collections, and it was nothing but rows of Topps Attacks.
Nobody was collecting it when you weren't.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
It was an okay product. Our buddy Nick Vosspring brought up an interesting point because it is a lower end price point. And there is this game associated with it. He's like, with the kids at home, I'm thinking about maybe buying some because it might be a fun rip and an opportunity to play the game with my kids. And
but who plays games with their cards? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the fluidity of the game, right? Is it a good game? Sure. I mean, if it's a boring game, it's kind of a moot point. But
let's play some dice baseball.
MLB Showdown, anyone?
To me, it's like, we haven't seen this since, 2011, I believe, was the last year it was produced. Was it 2010?
Yeah.
I thought they did it in
around
10
that time.
But it's been 10 years. Do we really need it? Another product? Come on. Right on the heels of 10 other online products?
But there are 2 variation cards.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a horse of a different color. Yeah, it's just they're just throwing shit out there. They're trying to print money, and good for them. Hey, we see them working. It's just not. It's like one of those things. We didn't ask for it, but we got it anyway.
And just because you can make something doesn't necessarily mean that you should make it. That's
Correct.
What I say.
And they double down, triple down, and say, "Damn it, we're making 10 of them. Nobody wants this. Let's do it anyway. Let's pull out our." It's almost like the Topps version of Chronicles, where they just crap out all the crap that nobody wants.
But Panini at least has the common courtesy of putting all that crap into one product instead of 10 online releases.
And some of it was great last year. Panini had Select in Chronicles. They had Obsidian in Chronicles. There was a lot of good stuff isolated here or there amongst the 18 products or whatever that they spit out in one product. Again, this is a low end product. Take it for what it is, collect it, rip it with the kids. It's what it is. Yeah, nothing to get excited about. It's just one more thing for us to have to collect. It's one more thing for BaseballCardPedia to have to catalog.
Yeah, that's all it is. Filler.
Yeah, that's all. So I think we lost him for a minute.
Oh.
You're back? Okay.
Yeah, the funny thing is exactly the same time this week as last week, the internet just went at my house.
See, I just accidentally closed the window.
No, yeah, we're still on Topps Attack and how it's just utter just garbage and print money.
And we spent 45 seconds on it. That's
Pretty
all
much.
we need to talk about it.
National
On to the
Baseball
next.
Card Day is coming out. Sports Collectors Daily put this out. The annual promotion set for August 8/8/8, same day that Wrigley had up their first night game. And anyone can get a free pack by simply visiting a participating hobby shop. There are also retail elements at Target and Walmart. They did that last year, and I explored all 3 avenues. It was great. Customers who make a $10 purchase will receive a free Pete Alonso card. That's an exclusive to the promotion. And then the following Saturday, August 15th, another $10 purchase will lead to a free Yordan Alvarez card. They haven't released the checklist for this. It usually follows one player per team, similar to the flagship release with the National Baseball Card Day logo on there. And then at Target, there's going to be specially marked 2020 Topps Chrome hanger boxes that will include a free pack and a special offer surrounding the upcoming Topps Fire release. So, hey, Topps Fire is coming back.
Heyo.
Walmart at Walmart stores, the Chrome hanger will be centered around the 2020 Topps Gallery product. Another just shit hard product that comes out. So, yeah.
I like gallery.
Are they going to put it next to the 2019 gallery that's still collecting dust at our Walmarts?
Gallery is god awful. It's as ugly as those Diamond King, those 206 Diamond Kings or whatever they have in Diamond Kings this year. Yeah.
Those are
the pictures are ugly. The art sucks. They are not good.
No.
Don't shake your head. They're trash.
Product.
Nobody buys that shit.
I bought it. I love it.
You were the one. You were also the same guy chasing down 78 parallels of one guy on the Oakland A's. I'm just saying, like it's
Gallery.
not. You have at its root. It could be. It's not a good product. It's an insert that they made into a product.
Fire is good. Now, Topps Fire is a solid product. It's been solid, and I will die on that hill.
You've been corrected on your Cubs knowledge.
Well, yeah, it was scheduled for 8/8/88, but yes, I understand. Anyway,
the only problem I have with like Fire, and we've talked about this, is that it just all of a sudden shows up on eBay. It doesn't tell us that, hey, it's being released on August 1st.
Topps doesn't even care.
I care deeply.
Well, if the company making it doesn't care, anyway. Safe Break at Hobby Break the Hobby tweet out these awesome pictures. Crazy story. I just bought a safe full of cards from a lady who was about to toss them. I didn't even get to look through it. Took a chance. I'll post some of my findings. So, Steph, if you want to click on those photos, there's 3 photographs on here, and I don't know what the guy paid for the safe or how long it took him to get into that safe, which would be fun video to watch. But sometime we'll have these pictures up of these wonderful cards that he got out of the safe. And here we go. No, that's why I put the pictures in here, because the tweets were sideways.
So you corrected him.
Yeah, if you click on the ones that say picture, I fixed the picture so we could actually enjoy the cards themselves.
Well, we're trying to give craniums here.
There we go. So you have some 91 Upper Deck Jordans. You have 3 Monk rookies, 2 Joe Montana rookies, some of those franchise cards from 92 Score, a couple of 82 Ripkins.
Ballpark Edge.
Yeah, you have an 89 Griffey Upper Deck. You have a Lawrence Taylor rookie card. You have some Sandberg rookie cards.
Yogi signature.
Yeah. And
that was probably somebody's investment portfolio in a safe where they were going to open it up in 2020 and be multi-millionaires.
Yeah, you have a couple 79 Bretts, a Steve Largent, I believe, rookie. You have a Warren Moon rookie. You have a Ricky Henderson rookie, a Johnny Yu. Actually, you have 3 rookies of Ricky Henderson, and some nice looking cards. I think that it's a rookie of Clemens down in the corner, and then on the next page you have a couple 89 up Donruss rated rookies of Griffey, a couple second year Andre Dawson or third year Andre Dawsons, Randall Cunningham rookie. Some just good looking stuff. Like, what a heck of a safe. I mean, if he paid this lady was tossing us out, and he paid under $100 for this safe, then he's doing something right.
Got to say about, 93 maybe with the Pacific Ryan?
Yeah. Now, Payne Stewart,
Yeah.
I bought a couple of those the other day for 50 cents. Just because.
I mean, yeah, if you that'd be a cool safe to open and have all of that. But yeah, I'm certain that whoever put that in there, that was their retirement plan.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, David Robinson.
Except for the Nat. The only thing I
with
understand is the Nat Moore autograph. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, but if that's all you had, if that was your entire collection at that time, you threw everything you had in the safe. I mean, if we all did that and you only had 50 cards total, we were going to have one or two in there probably that don't make sense. Like, say, a Brian Taylor or a Todd Van Poppel rookie card.
Yeah. Chris touched this
Kinda
earlier.
makes you
LeBron's
wonder, 30 years from now, how many card safes are going to get cracked open with some of the cards of today that are worth?
Dominguez and Alvarez
Dominguez
and
and Lost
Aquino.
River.
Joey Bart. Remember this $2 card.
Chris hit on this earlier. LeBron's $1 million card. It was a 2003-04 Upper Deck patch parallel that came from Exquisite. It sold at Golden Auctions for $1.845 million. It's a record for modern day cards. It surpassed the Bowman Chrome Red Refractor Mike Trout that sold for $922,000 earlier this year. And LeBron, there were some comments. LeBron said he knows somebody that might have a few of them. So,
But did he sign them for his buddy?
I don't know.
I had a question about that card. I'm not really familiar with basketball cards that much. Now, this card is a parallel, right? And it's numbered 23. What's the base card look like? And what's it numbered to?
I don't know. I want to say it's very similar to this. I think what the difference is the patches, and I think those are 99.
Not really
These
much
are
of a patch there. Just
These were out of 23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was like 99 or something like that as far as the base, and then these ones have a nicer patch and are numbered out of his jersey number. I think was the deal with those.
Okay.
Just interesting. And then there's $1 million. We talked about this last week. $1 million case, the 86-87 Fleer basketball. It was sealed up. The opening bid started $250,000, and the last check it was still at the $1.28 million deal bid with 11 bids to go. But this week, Steve Hart of Baseball Card Exchange rolled out. Yeah, it's still that same bid. Went over, and he actually gave it his stamp of approval. He's tweeted out that he got to see it in person. It's 100% authentic. Providence is 100% ironclad, and it's 100% awesome. So
to answer
there is
here's what a base looks like. 42 cards.
with the base autograph.
And then it goes straight to base autograph 99, tier 2, 23.
So the parallel just has a patch, and the base card just has like a jersey swatch. Okay.
So,
Did not know that.
during his rookie year, what would that card out of 23 have sold for? Do we have any idea?
A few thousand. Probably a few thousand.
So we're looking at
You've probably been a few thousand.
Jason Dominguez now versus 20 years from now when he's Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle combined into this superhuman, like a Power Ranger, where he's got Trout here and Mantle here and Mays in the leg, and he creates this superhuman. Dominguez is going to be worth $1.5 million.
Yeah,
just interesting. Just kind of see what you could have got one for back.
But
15 years ago.
Yeah, basketball is different than baseball. I think in a lot of aspects. Good boxes. So at Rick Shearer on Twitter said, I opened one of the worst hobby boxes I've had in a while. Win some, lose some. However, I'm pretty sure breakers get all the good boxes and LCS get the leftovers. At least that's what it seems like. Dude.
Okay. Sure.
I brought this up. This was kind of an afterthought, but I put this in here because it's a little bitchy tweet. Like, oh, I didn't get a good box. All the breakers get the good stuff. That's not true. They're opening cases and cases and cases of stuff. So you're getting more opportunity than some just Joe open a box. I've seen breakers open a box that's been in a mixer, one box, and it's awful.
Yeah.
And they don't know what's in the boxes. They don't even pack it out because they. Yeah.
Well,
No, I mean,
in this case, he points out that it's OPG Platinum Hockey, and to your point, Tim, not everyone's going to show the case where they got a bunch of crap Wild and Avalanche autos. They're only going to show their Gretzky hit. They're only going to show their Messier auto. They're only going to show, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, you open up one box of any sport, of any year, of any release, just one box. Do you know what the statistical odds of hitting something over your the cost of that box? If it's $100, what are the statistical odds you're going to get at something worth more than $100? It's so low. But if you watch somebody like Mojo Break, that they're opening case after case, like an assembly line, right? They're just opening this product over and over again. If you're watching it, you're going to see all these tremendous hits, but you have to look at it and just watch it when they open up one box and then pause it and go, did they get their money's worth on that box? Because essentially that's what it is. But the difference is they're not opening one.
Bad box.
Yeah, they're opening up 12, and then they're like, okay, next, let's open up the second case and the 18th case of Bowman Chrome. Yeah, they're going to hit a Dominguez because that's the way it is. If you open up that much product, dude, come on, get out of here. One box. Yeah, the odds of you hitting something the statistics don't play in your favor. Let's just put it that way.
There was a fun tweet out this week from @SmartassCollect on Twitter. It said, I really wish it was in follow up of talking about Topps Project 2020. I really wish the Topps would limit the print run, just sell out each week or each day of the cards, basically. I just want to know what your thoughts were if they limited to say a print run of 2,500 every week.
And leave all that money on the table?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think they would, and I think that's why they have all these prints.
People pay $20 for a card, and you're only going to sell 2,500.
Yeah,
not a good business decision.
I think Ben hacked someone's account.
Yeah. And also talking about 2020 and good business decisions. Somebody sent this pic, and I don't have the actual tweet, but I have a picture of the tweet. Somebody just dumping Project 2020 cards like they were on the Titanic and trying to get water off the boat.
So kind of like the eBay auction from earlier.
Yeah, but this was way worse.
Yeah,
this was worse, anybody want to buy approximately 1,000 plus Topps Project 2020 cards, $5 each, mostly Griffey, Short, Nolan Ryan, Vitas. Does come with around 50 Ben Baller Trouts and the Don C. Frank Thomas. Definitely money to be made if you're patient. I want to take my L and move on.
So this goes to Chris's point about these eventually showing up in maybe not dollar boxes, but maybe $5, $10 a piece at card shows throughout the next decade. You couple that with the eBay one that we talked about earlier on the show, and these are just two examples, but the thing is they're not just two. They're two of way too many. People that are just maxing out credit cards. They're highly leveraged. Whoops, I forgot to ask the spouse for permission to throw $5,000 on the American Express. American Express is going to ding you every 30 days for an interest rate, right? Mr. Visa's come calling. And when people bought in that 2 to 3 week peak at the top of the bell curve, and, I explained it to my wife. I was like, it's like the tick, 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 tick of a, a ride at the, eventually it's going to come down, but then it's going to spin around and, it's going to feel good for 90 seconds before the ride ends at the amusement park. But this one just dropped into a pit of hell. I mean, when you got into the 65,000, 99,000 shores and come on, everybody, the problem is who were you going to sell to? If everybody
got so excited, that's what it was.
Yeah. If everybody bought, we all bought 500. Well, you're not buying mine, and I'm not buying yours. The problem was nobody was available. The sellers outweighed the buyers, not by 2x, 3x, but 100x, 1,000x. I mean, everybody just had stupid quantities.
Hey, bright spot with Topps 2020 this week. We didn't talk about any issues or problems. I think it's the first time in 3 weeks we haven't talked about hairs, papers, upside down cards, cases,
But there was that
offensive
Topps
rims.
Archive Signature Series Teixeira that I don't know that we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, I don't remember if I put that in the notes or not, but yeah, I did. It's later on, but yeah.
Okay.
This is one QC issue. Crushed. This is what I'm just calling just crushed. I have 4 examples, and this is just 4 of a handful I saw. At Camden Gone Yard, there's got to be a better way for Topps to ship pack of cards so they don't get damaged. If I sent a package, somebody arrived this way, I would have to give them their money back. Such garbage. It's the Topps 206 packs, and it looks like they got run over by a bus. At Ballpark Fantas 1, here's mine, returning process, and his are crushed. We have Alpha Beta 2. Same thing happened to me. Luckily, the cards are okay. I didn't have to spend a year asking Topps for my refund, but his boxes are smashed and smushed. And then at Squirrel 641, I literally thought these were my picks. LO, I swear my cards came in the same way. My box order looks like that. So I know the feeling. Looks like they've been in the mail for 2 months, but they just sent the Project 2020 cards in a huge box. Like these were sent in a bubble mailer, and it's a really crushable paper box, cardboard box with no support around it or anything. And I've seen like 10, 12 examples of these. These were just a handful in one thread I saw. Just smashed boxes over and over.
I mean, Ben sent me a PWE card that came in the mail, but the corner of the white envelope was ripped open and got taped over by the USPS, as it were. But they look nowhere near as bad as those boxes.
Dude, speaking of which, I bought a parallel of my boy, Garrett Hampson. And in the top corner here, this card came in no penny sleeve and a 130-point top loader with a piece of tape over the top of the top loader. And then it was in a recycled bubble mailer that was taped together and not well. And I reached out to the seller and I sent him a photo of the ding. I mean, it's a giant white corner. And he said, "Oh, the pictures are too blurry for me to tell." And we went back and forth, and I did some more scans. And I said, "Dude, I was like, it's the only one I've seen, and I'm willing to take like a partial refund or whatever." And he's like, "Well, the kids are helping me ship right now, I guess." And I was like, we went back and forth, and I said, "Why am I wasting my time for $2?" I just said, "Fuck." I just said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I'm just gonna move on. Do it. Whatever. You suck. You're gonna get bad feedback." I have a podcast that I do, and so don't buy from Wes Oliver from Spokane, Washington, because he doesn't ship well.
It's really bad.
It's not hard to ship.
But with a PW, you are taking your chances.
This wasn't a bubble mailer.
No, but yeah, in a bubble mailer, there's no excuses. But that to come around to the 206 this is a manufacturer or somebody shipping, as a third-party logistic company on behalf of Topps, which is the industry leader when it comes to at least baseball, right? It's an oligopoly. Mm-hmm. You got Topps and Panini and Upper Deck, and that's if it was one, you could say, well, maybe that was just USPS because that's they have a bad reputation for that. But at what point does 2, 3, 4 become, pardon the expression, but an epidemic, right?
Sure.
At what point does it become, if I buy it and then you have wave 2, you have wave 3, they're going to make 5 waves. And we've already talked about how many issues we have with you got yours, but I haven't got mine. And the secondary market has already run through 2 weeks before people are getting their initial shipment. It doesn't bode well for wave 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Well, look at Shep with his finest flashbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Top still thinks they still have them.
Yeah. If I was a bad dude, I'd call Topps tomorrow and be like, "Where are my boxes?"
Yeah, well, and that's an issue where we know that you're pre-selling that to somebody else. If you've accepted their money, this is what got Project 2020 into hot water. Was all these guys were I'm buying it from Topps and I'm selling it to Tim, who's selling it to Steph, who's selling it to Chris. And then Chris is like, screw it, I want my money back. And then he goes to Steph, and Steph's like, well, there goes a pre-sale. I want my money back. And then it goes back to Tim, and then it comes back to me. And now all of a sudden you have this trail of returns.
You're eating beans for a month.
And the next thing you know, Ben's stuck with all of these, and he's typing out on the Facebook, hey, I'm selling these for $5 a piece. Do you want 1,000 of these? And I'll take the L. And it's just like, it's ridiculous.
That's a tough, like, what's that, like a $13 lot? Oh.
Yeah, per card. I mean, that's nasty. And if you waited 30 days, again, if you put that on a credit card, you got dinged whatever your interest rate is
thing too.
On top of the loss. So, yeah, you're eating this one for a while.
Total crap. So our buddy Once a Cub sent out pictures of Wave 4. Wave 4 of Topps Total was good. The only thing I noticed was Yu Chang was not listed as a rookie on the checklist, but had it on his card. Better than the other way around, like Wave 3. Some numbering issues, though, in Wave 5. All these cards should be numbered in the 400s. So 470, 471, and 475. Mike Moustakas, card 470, was listed as card 270. Trevor Williams, card 471, was listed as card 371. And Rick Porcello was card 475, but listed as card 375. They've done this for, I don't know, 3 of the 5 waves.
Thanks, Topps.
Yeah, thanks, Topps.
Can't be that
Can't
hard.
even number your own goddamn card set.
Yeah. And again,
do we have a checklist yet for Wave 7, which has been out a week now?
No, I don't think so.
Well, why not? How the hell do you know how to? Why am I buying if I don't know what's on the checklist? It's print to order. It's been a week. Cut it out, Topps.
So with you here, I got to ask, what do you think of the original Topps Total versus today, Chris?
They're 2 completely different products.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which one's better?
If you want to bring back Topps Total, how hard is 10 cards for $1 at stores that we can actually buy them in?
Yeah.
As opposed to whatever this is.
I love Total. We talked about this last year, right? You're making guys that don't typically get cards. The 6th, 7th relief pitcher, guys on the 40-man roster that make a 6-week appearance. This is a great product. Catcher. Yeah. Great product for a team collector. And then you put it at a price point that to build a 30-card set is just not cost prohibitive. It's not. It's stupid.
It's a minimum about unless you got a homie hookup, it's about $60 minimum.
Yeah. What is it, like $10 a pack, and you get 10 cards per pack?
Yeah.
So you literally have 10 cards for $1, and that's what this product is. And you're getting a 10x multiplier online print to order bullshit. This is the stuff that should be in Target and Walmart for kids to go buy a pack. And then you get that guy that you love who got it.
Gallery.
This is what Big League or opening day ought to be.
Sure.
Exactly.
Or hear me out. This is what the flagship ought to be.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And where are your manager cards? You're making 900 cards and you can't throw, a Gabe Kapler as a giant in there for me? Come on.
You want that?
Hey, so real quick, you talked about Big League, and last month's Future Stars Club, it was the collector box of Big League. So you got 7 packs and an action figure, and I got Cody Bellinger, the variant, because in the normal picture he's just standing, he's not batting. These, by the way, remind me of the A-Team and Dukes of Hazzard action figures from the mid '80s when I was a kid.
True.
I went out and I bought the Posey because I was like, that's just too awesome. We talked about this. It's Judge, Bellinger, Altuve, Posey, and Kershaw. So very cool. This is the card that we were talking about earlier. At Dalsub fan tweeted out Topps BWCC supply. Someone is explaining them as to someone forgot to take out an insert in the mag holder. What happened? This was a Mark Teixeira Topps Archive Signature Series. So Topps ass, 1 of 1, Bowman Platinum with the card thing on the back.
So you could say it's a dual 1 of 1, right?
Well,
He's an
and that's the
idiot, one of
thing. I think he has like 22 of the 40 some that he's seen. He has bids on 18 of them, and he's only missed 2 1-of-1s. So this is not the guy that you want to introduce a 1-of-1 of 1-of-1.
How the hell do you? Okay, again, going back to Project 2020, I have facial hair. It falls out because I'm old, and if I'm packing these out right, it's possible that one of my goatee hairs are going to slide into a Project 2020 or archive signature. It's going to happen. But how the hell did you miss? Yeah, well, at this point, yeah, right. You should have a mask on, and honestly, you should anyway because I've got facial hair. If I work, I used to have to wear one when I owned my coffee shop. That way it doesn't get into people's drinks. But how the hell do you miss an insert when you're opening up a one touch? You pull that out, right? Does it really take that much to turn it over and make sure I can see the back of the card before I slap that sticker over the top?
It does. Here's another fun one.
Make a deal to buy in bulk with BCW or whoever or Ultra Pro and not have those inserts in them.
Yeah.
Or are they just buying them off the shelf?
You're buying them from eBay for $40 a piece.
Yeah.
How long is too long to wait? At Certified Cards tweeted, I have 2 Panini America Cody Bellinger rookie patch autograph redemptions that I entered 3 years ago, 2017. Should I risk it and request a replacement? I feel it's a lost cause at this point. By the way, I looked up this card and I found one on eBay, and of course it belongs to PWCC. So don't look at the pricing, but the card is live. So there is a physical card. It was card number 65, National Treasures collection, numbered out of 99. Cody Bellinger, he has both of them listed there. And then the card I found on eBay matches that was graded. So it does list the card number and out of, and so it's the same card. My question is, how does somebody already have this card, and how do they have it graded when this dude has 2 redemptions and they haven't been fulfilled?
So if you see on the screenshot, it says request replacement in 120 days. That's the point where I reach out and say, hey, any chance this is coming? And then double that is when I actually ask, hey, can I get a replacement for somebody in this range? Twin, signature, whatever. But that's just me.
Look, he put this in
November
18th of 2017.
You should have reached out.
There was I don't remember, 5-star maybe or something, Dave Stewart, that I was waiting 3 years on. That was live for a year before I got mine. And I had reached out and said, hey, is he going to sign? And then they're like, do you want a replacement or not? I said, listen to my question. I'm asking, do you know if he's going to sign? They're like, do you want a replacement or not? I'm like, whatever, dude. But I sat there and waited, and I saw them online when I was doing a search, and it took about a year for me to get mine after they went live with other people. So I don't know if maybe they got some back and not all of them. But each of us have to ask that question to ourselves. What are you, if you're a Cody Bellinger collector and those are in your queue, you have to wait, right? But if you're looking to flip them, then maybe you take your. Do you take your chances? I mean, only you can answer that. We can't. Nobody can answer that for you.
It's stupid because they're going to give you Panini points.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You can get a Kent Bazemore RPA out of that, though.
Hey, he's a good Sacramento King. You live Kent Bazemore alone, the Bays.
He was starting in the exhibition game tonight against Miami. I mean,
hey,
might want to hold on to that one.
Pack Fresh at Uncle Doc's Cards tweet out, anybody working on the 88 score set? I need 8 or so cards to finish one set and 38 or so to finish a second. I have lots of Pack Fresh baseball cards to trade. Our buddy Scott Hermanson said he reached out and said he had a few to trade, which led to this picture. He goes, what do you have? And he goes, pretty much anything from 1973 to 2011. And
he's not lying.
Dude has a barn
in the middle of nowhere.
A full barn with wood shelves of. We can scroll down here. There you go, and just monster box after monster box after monster box.
This is kind of the setup you'd imagine that Brian Gray is cutting cards at.
Yeah, that looks like Brian Gray's trunk or Rich Klein's office.
Yeah, well, this is better organized.
No, that's awesome. That looks extremely organized, and hopefully our buddy Scott can help him out, and they can make a good trade. But that's cool to see that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we'll end the show there, guys. Any final thoughts before we head out tonight?
No, I'm glad that we got a couple hours with Chris. Definitely want to have you on the show again, and appreciate all your
love to be back.
Your
anytime.
information and knowledge. It's awesome to have somebody that's
Hobby Hotline.
Yeah. We can't thank you enough for your time tonight.
Yeah. Anytime. I'm here.
Cool. So make sure you're following at Stale Gum. You're checking out BaseballCardPedia. I have some work, database to finish out, and that's where I'm going to go nerd out after the show tonight.
One of these days, we need to have a hobby house at the National and have everybody and host a show from the National.
Well, I'm just going to say that the Jersey Shore in December, you can get a rental real cheap.
You might have to be our correspondent from the 2020 National, live from AC. That'd be fun.
Oh,
all three people that show.
Yeah.
You, Kevin,
good deals to be had. Good deals to be had.
I'm saving my money for the National because it's going to be a buyer's market.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Well, guys, any other final thoughts before we head out tonight?
Nope.
All right. Well,
I'm good.
We all appreciate it. Remember, we're live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central, 11 Eastern.
On YouTube. Make sure to check out the Hobby Hotline Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and call in with your comments and questions. We really appreciate the support there. Make sure to subscribe and review our show on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter at About the Cards. Follow Ben at Our Trading Cards. Follow Steve at Junk Wax Twins. Follow Chris at Stale Gum. You always follow me at Big Shep 79. Please share hobby stories, great polls, and send your questions our way. Keep collecting, and we'll see you all next week.
See you then.